Hey guys, it's Paradise, and we've been playing and loving the new Call of Duty Warzone 2. It's so much fun, so we wanted to wrap together all of the tips and beginner stuff that we wish we knew sooner before starting. Don't miss out as well because we have some exclusive HyperX calling cards, emblems, and gun sprays to give out through this video. So if you see a code like this one in a corner on the screen somewhere, make sure to go to callofduty.com/redeem to get them for yourself. So make sure to drop a like and click subscribe down below to show support. Put in the comments what you think of Warzone 2 so far, and the absolute first tip you need to know is before you launch into a map, create a custom loadout or multiple. Similar to the original Call of Duty Warzone 1, loadouts are back this time and they play an even bigger role than before. In a normal Call of Duty, you would spawn in with these loadouts, but of course this is Warzone, a battle royale mode, so instead you spawn in with just a pistol and have to loot for your weapons and gear. Well, now you have quicker ways to access your loadout, and more specifically your loadout's primary weapon. This makes your loadout way more important, as you can easily and quickly get your fully kitted out gun that you perform well with. Honestly speaking, if you haven't played the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer mode, it means you won't have access to all of the best attachments and weapons. In the multiplayer modes, you level up your weapons by defeating enemy players, which unlocks new attachments that dramatically upgrade your weapon's stats. You can do this in Warzone 2 now, but it's much faster in the multiplayer modes of Modern Warfare 2. So if you don't have the attachments unlocked and already know what weapons you perform well with, you will be at a disadvantage. But don't worry, if you play enough, you can close this gap and still be a good player. Furthermore, within your loadout, you can pick your secondary weapon, tactical gear, grenades, and most importantly, your perks. Perks are huge because you don't have another way to get them in-game, so you can only get them from your loadout. The perk systems are preset in Warzone 2, but they are still very good. They give you a straight-up advantage over your enemies that don't have them, so you cannot miss out on these. Things like Ghost to not appear on enemy UAVs, Tracker to literally follow your enemy's footprints, or even Double Time to sprint for longer will give you an edge over your enemies that didn't bother setting up their loadouts correctly to their preference. The thing is, there are several ways to get your loadout in Warzone 2 now. Firstly is the shops. These allow you to buy just the primary weapon from any loadout quickly and easily. It's a great way to get a good gun if you're struggling for loot, and they're all over the map so they're easy to find. Secondly is the public loadout drop events. Loadouts will drop into the middle of the battle royale matches. However, these are not limited or assigned to an individual squad. Instead, anyone can access these, so keep your eyes open because this is a great way to get your full loadout. Finally is the new strongholds and black sites. Players can earn their loadouts in the early game as a reward for clearing strongholds or a black site. These are risk-reward locations full of NPC enemies and usually require an objective to be completed to unlock your reward. Beware though, because these locations are highlighted on the map and the gunfire of fighting the NPCs may draw other squads to your location as well. The strongholds are located all around the map, and the first team to complete them must disarm a bomb and will earn a key to a black site as well as their custom loadout. Successive teams after that must eliminate a specific number of defenders, be it AI or players. Then they will get their custom loadout but not the black site key. Black site keys are a more dangerous form of these strongholds. They offer a permanent weapon blueprint reward and even more valuable in-game items for those who clear them out. These are available only via a black site key, which is given to the first team to clear one of the active strongholds. Next up though, we need to talk about parachute controls. You'll have to use your parachute every single match, so you cannot avoid this mechanic, and it will be massively important for getting to your target drop location faster than other players. If you land faster than other people, you can loot sooner, get a weapon and gear, and take them out first, so learning your parachute is very important. There are two tactics I advise when it comes to dropping: close and far drops. For close drops, it means you want to go to a location near the plane's flight path that isn't too far away. In other words, you're already close and within range of where you want to go. For this, you need to go straight down towards that spot and open your parachute as late as possible so you can hit the ground and loot before anybody else. For far locations though, it means you will not make it by just holding forwards towards your target. It also means that others might drop before you unless you use this tip. After dropping out of the plane, you'll get an initial horizontal speed boost. As soon as this ends, you want to open your parachute, cut it, and then move in that target location again. You'll get a great horizontal speed boost every single time you cut your parachute open. But after a couple of seconds, it will start tapering off and you'll start going more vertical downwards than you will horizontal. Once this happens, you want to open your parachute once again, cut it, and repeat for more horizontal speed boosts. This will allow you to get to far away areas much faster than other players, and you'll be surprised with how much distance you can actually get from this. You can land really far away from the plane's flight path. So definitely try to use these tips to land before other players in your match. Remember, running around and looting before them, even just grabbing a gun as quickly as possible, can even mean that you can kill players players while they're still dropping in. It's rare to happen, but trust me, you can do it if you really try. Next up is settings, because there's a few different ones that you don't want to miss out on because they will give you the edge. Firstly is the field of view. This is a setting that literally lets you see more things on your screen. If you want to see players around you before they even see you, I suggest increasing this setting. Personally, I find 100 to 110 to be the sweet spot, but it will be different for everyone. If you can handle higher, even better. Next, we have a keyboard and mouse tip, but then we'll go over controller tips. Within the gameplay tab for movement, within advanced settings, you want to set this to fast. There's no reason that you want to be moving slower in game, so you should make sure that you have this one set to fast or you'll fall behind. For the controller though, you want to set your button layout preset to tactical. This means you can do the classic Call of Duty drop shot tech as it moves the crouch and prone button to your analog stick, so you can easily shoot while dropping to the floor. For your aim response curve type, many players prefer dynamic. You can test this to see what works for you, but many people find dynamic to be the best. There's also an option for parachute auto deploy. You should turn this off, simply because this means you can land closer to the ground so you can loot faster and beat other people around you dropping in. But remember to manually deploy it because you will die if you miss it. Next, if you have frame rate issues, you can try playing in full screen mode and of course lowering your graphic settings if that is a problem. Next up, let's go over what is the best drop location. So far from all of my testing and seeing what other players are also doing, dropping in the densely built named areas of the map seems to have a higher quantity of loot in general and sometimes higher quality loot as well, especially compared to other smaller unnamed areas of the map. There's a random element to it, so it's not a surefire thing. The loot is pretty well spread out, but named areas definitely are hot zones for both loot and other players. The map also has a moving train that's extremely great to land on if you're feeling risky. It attracts other players, but it has fantastic chests on it with kill streaks, kitted out guns, and even moves around the map so you can get to other locations easily on it. It's a very fun place to start the match, but it's also quite risky. Definitely try it out and see how you get on with it. Additionally, for the map itself, as well as the sub-locations within it, those that have been playing the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer mode have got the advantage once again. You see, many of the maps from the multiplayer mode are actually located within the world and are the subsections within the Warzone 2 map. So if you've already played the Warzone 2 multiplayer mode and learnt the maps on there, you can land in those locations and have an advantage because you already know your surroundings. Next up is the new backpack system. Warzone 2 has implemented this new system. It's also fully integrated in the DMZ mode, but is streamlined for the Battle Royale modes. Within the actual game, supply boxes will still throw out items onto the floor for you to pick up. However, basically every other loot container, duffel bags, medical cases, even when you defeat another player and they drop their bag, it will now have to be accessed through a loot menu. When a player dies, their primary weapon will go on the ground, but their backpack will contain the rest of their loot. This is accessed through that loot menu. You can still run over some loot on the floor to pick it up, but remember your grenades, weapons, field upgrades, and more will not automatically be picked up. You will still need to pay attention to what's on the ground, and especially now with the containers, and manually loot them onto your loadout. And next is the new Gulag. It's received some changes since Warzone 1. It's now a 2v2 environment where you will be randomly paired as duos, and you must coordinate with your team member to take down the opposition. All players will have a predefined loadout. It could be a pistol or a shotgun, a lethal grenade, and a tactical grenade. There is more effective weaponry and gear towards the center of the map though. However, the Gulag will also now include a jailer who appears in the middle of the match to help speed up the combat. The jailer is a very powerful and very tanky, almost juggernaut style NPC. However, defeating this jailer will return all 4 of the Gulag prisoners, including the 2 on the enemy team, back into the Battle Royale. This makes for an interesting situation. Should you team up with the enemies and wait for the jailer and take it out together, or eliminate them for a quicker victory to save yourself? If neither team wins or kills the jailer, once the time ends, all 4 operators will lose, so you have to kill the enemy team or the jailer within the time limit. And next is the new contracts. Around the map, you'll find different contract icons. These are like side missions that reward you with loot and cash in-game. There are 4 types total, and a couple of them you definitely don't want to miss out on because they are really good and easy to do. Firstly is the bounty. This will target an enemy player or squad, and usually targets teams with a higher kill count. You must follow the location it shows and hunt them down for a big payout. Next is intel. This will send you to a laptop to grab a hard drive. You then must go to another location and upload the intel. This gives gives you cash and shows you the next circle location on your map. It's relatively easy and low risk, so we recommend doing this one. Next is Safe Cracker though, and this one will highlight up to 3 safes on your map for you to travel to and plant a bomb that will open the safe. These have items, weapons, and money inside. We found this to be one of the best contracts to take for a quick injection of loot and cash, so definitely try this one out. And finally is Most Wanted, the most dangerous of all the bounties. It highlights you on the map for enemy teams to defeat. It's a fast way to die as everyone will know your location, but if you can survive the timer you get a big payout, so the risk is up to you. And next are some of the new features that you'll find in Warzone 2. First is the new circle collapse. When it comes to the actual circle within the map, there may not only be one safe zone anymore. In the Battle Royale modes, there can now be up to 3 different circles within the collapse that will ultimately re-emerge together for the final showdown at the end. This is random each match, but you may encounter it, so get ready for multiple circles within the map. One really cool thing that's been added in is that you can interrogate downed enemies. By doing this, it will reveal the entire location of the rest of their team. But unfortunately, your teammates can still kill the downed enemies even while you're interrogating them, as you can see from the clip. There's also proximity chat. Comms are now open, so you can speak in-game mid-match that will be heard by other squads around you. This can be used to open up new interesting ways to tackle engagements or mess with enemies who are camping inside a building. You could even use this to communicate in the Gulag to take down the jailer. But remember to try and be nice because you never know who's listening. And there are 2 new vehicles that are being added into the roster for Warzone 2. An aerial powerhouse known as the Heavy Chopper, which can even hover in place without a pilot, as well as the GMC Hummer EV pickup vehicle, a versatile electric super truck that can cover ground very quickly for your whole squad. On the topic of vehicles, they no longer have unlimited fuel. You can find fuel cans and you'll also notice gas stations around the map. At the gas stations, you can refuel your vehicles and also repair their body and tire damage. One quick tip is that you can actually perform flat tire repairs anywhere in the world by interacting with the individual tires on the vehicle. Next up is the shops. We've already mentioned that you can buy your primary weapon from your loadouts at the shops, but each shop also contains a unique set of items for purchase in limited quantity, including kill streaks, armor plates, and more. You can still buy back fallen teammates too, but each shop will have its own unique supply of things. Another great tip is to look out for the 3-plate vests out in the open world. These will give you a straight up advantage because you will have even more armor than other players that don't have them. So when you're at a shop, make sure to stock up on armor plates and go out looking for the 3-plate vest. Next is the new third-person Warzones. Third-person playlists are being introduced into the Battle Royale weekly rotation during Season 1. So if you want a new Warzone experience and you like third-person perspective games, then you can try out something new in this mode. And finally is the new Battle Pass. Within the Battle Pass there is a map that has 20 sectors that each have 5 rewards in them, and 1 free reward. Playing the game will reward you with battle tokens. These are used to claim the rewards within each sector. You can get new skins, operators, and even weapons can be found here, so make sure to check back after playing to unlock your rewards. So if we did help you out in this video, please show support by clicking like down below and subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss out on all the gaming news updates and tips from us here on the channel. There are 2 more videos on screen now that we think you will really enjoy if you enjoyed this one. You don't have to click if you don't want to, but if you found this video helpful, you should probably check out these 2 because you're probably going to like them. And let us know what you think after watching in the comments down below.